Alright, so if you've got an Atari 1200 XL computer, like this right here, and all the keys doesn't work, then this is the video you need to watch, because I'm going to show you how to quickly and easily and cheaply fix the keyboard on a 1200 XL computer. Now this will also apply to certain models of the TI-99 4A that have the same MITSUMI Mylar keyboard, and we'll get into that right now. Let's proceed forth, shall we? So a couple things you're going to need is you're going to need probably about 7 or 8 pieces of heat shrink tubing, the 2.5 millimeter diameter, and you're going to need some scissors. Now, let's proceed forth. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is flip this thing over and take it apart. There are 6 screws holding it together. 4 at the front, 2 at the back. Okay, all the screws are taken out. Flip it over. Carefully lift the lid up. It's going to have 2 connectors where the keyboard connects to the main board down here. Just slide those off. Luckily the ribbon connectors on pins, so they're pretty easy. You can see right there. Okay, those are the 2 connectors you can take off. Now you're gonna get this thing, get the main computer out of the way so we can focus on the keyboard here. Alright, so mainly for debugging purposes, we want to remove the keyboard from the top of the computer. So that's 4 screws. Let's take those off. And the reason we do that is because it's going to be easier to debug, well, or to test the keyboard, so we can just directly hook it into the main circuit board and we won't have the cover blocking the way. It's easier to plug in and take it out if we need to. Alright, now zoom in. Okay, so we got to take out all these screws. Okay, so all the screws have been removed successfully, and now I'm going to remove the PCB from the mechanical keyboard unit. And as you can see, we've got the MITSUMI Mylar sheet here. Okay, you zoom in a little bit, right there. Okay, some TI-99 4A keyboards are just like this too. Some of them are not, some of them are exact duplicates. Now, while we're zoomed in here, we'll look at to see. Well, first of all, there's a caveat. What is the caveat? Okay, the caveat is you need to take this, plug it back into the computer, and test each key and see if it works. If it works, then this fix will work for you. If it does not work, if even just pressing some of these on the just straight on the board here does not result in a key press on your computer, then you need to refer to other videos that refer to repairing this Mylar, which is not such an easy fix. It can be easy, but it can also be difficult and also have dangers in destroying this if you're not careful. So I'd refer to videos such as Flash Jazz Cat. He has a couple of good videos about how to repair that. But this video is about if this works fine. If this works fine without this part, then you can continue. If not, then refer to Flash Jazz Cat. Okay, anyway, so put this to the side for a second, and I'll show you what the problem is The problem are these, the little silicone tips on these computers, on these keyboards, are really weak. Over time they weaken. Okay, so what we need to do is stiffen those up. Now comes the next step. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to take your heat shrink tubing and your scissors, and you want to cut the tubing until it's, you want to cut approximately 70 2mm slices. This right here, and it needs to be about 2mm in height. Okay, and you'll need 70 of those. So let's get started. Alright, the way I do it is I just eyeball it. I mean, you're basically guessing, you know, and try to hold it to where it's not gonna, when you cut them, they're not gonna like just jump all over the place, because they will. And just, you know, do it 70 times. Okay, that should be 70. So that took like 4 heat shrink tubes. It depends on how long, you know, they start out with. So we've got 70 approximately little cut up heat shrink tubes. They're approximately 2mm in height. You know, it's a little off, so some may be a little shorter, a little higher. Hopefully that won't matter. We'll find out when we get the keyboard going. Alright, so what we want to do here is to, we want done with the scissors, so what we want to do here is to strengthen the little silicone tips that's on these keyboards. And we do that by providing a little collar. So lift it up, just put the little, well, maybe tweezers help, by the way, put the little collar on it. Easier said than done. Right there. Okay, so you see that? Now it's important that it doesn't stick above the height of the keyboard. Okay, where is it? Right there. Okay, so that's perfect. So we want to do that for all 70 keys on this keyboard. And like I said before, that provides like a collar to strengthen the little silicone tips that's on here, and that will make it have good contact with the Mylar. Believe it or not. Alright, I'll show you when I got it all on there. And another essential equipment that you'll need is really tweezers. I mean, it makes a big difference. So as you're doing this, you'll notice that some of these will be too long. Like they'll stick up above where, you know, they shouldn't. And so, I mean, they'll be kind of obvious as you're doing this. And so just you can either trim those back, or just make some, just cut a new one out. It's real easy, right? It's no big deal to just slice another piece of heat shrink. So this is a really quick, cheap, and easy method. I know what you're saying. You're saying, yeah, that looks devious, man. Well, just have to show you after I put it together that, yeah, it works. Now, you can use something other than heat shrink, but that after 3D printing parts and looking at other alternatives, I've found that heat shrink is the most cost-effective, easier solution than anything I've come across so far. And it just, it's just right. It seems to be just right. So, all right, this can be a bit fiddly, but the end result is worth it. It really doesn't take that long to do, actually. And it's non-destructive. That's the main thing. So if you don't like it, you can always take it off. It's real easy. Some of these can be a bit tedious. It's not too difficult. Okay, so they're all in there. I had one left over, so I must have made 71. Just when you cut these, make sure that you don't cut them over this keyboard, because you don't want any pieces going in between the keys. Alright, so the last thing to do, or one of the last things to do, is to put this on. Make sure that they've all, they're pretty good. Looks like I missed any. Some may be a little bit too tall. This is where testing comes out. Okay, so, and all right, and I'll be back after I put all the screws in it. All right, so I've got the 1200 XL connected to video, so we can see the output of it. I did not put in all the screws, just enough to test it. See, this is why I take this out of the top shell, because it's easier to get in here than having to fight with the lid of the machine. It's enough of a file already, Okay, going to need a basic cartridge, actually. I have a basic cartridge. Oh, wait a minute. No, I thought I had one in there. Looking for a basic cartridge. Well, hang on then. I gotta find my basic cartridge. Oh, it was in my other 1200 XL. That makes sense. Alright, computer's off. Start the cartridge. Power on. some of the keys you may have to press, down if the heat shrink is a little bit, if you cut it a little bit too tall, right? So escape, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Oh, all right, there's 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course, backspace works. Press the right key works. Tab key works. Press return. A is a little bit, so A could probably use a stiffer yeah, A's not perfect, but the other ones, all the other keys seem like they're working okay. Well, it reset, yeah. So yeah, the A key is a little iffy. It's not always responding like it should. Control, yeah, control's okay. Shift. I mean, you have to press the A key all the way down. So well, and the A key, it's missing some screws on the bottom of that, so I'll put some more screws in it and see what it does after that. Alright, flipped it back on and put a couple of more screws around where the A key is. Now I think I may have cut the heat shrink around that key a little bit too short, so it's not always responding, so I need to replace that. But all the other keys seem to be fine. Check these. Those are okay. Forgot what that one is. What is that key? Oh, that's the help key. Okay. So I'm going to cut some more heat shrink for the A key. All the other keys seem to be okay. So alright, so the A key, that's the heat sink from that, the heat shrink tubing from that, and it's a little small. I cut it just a little bit too small, so I'm gonna get a little bit more heat shrink tubing here and cut a little bit, just a little bit more. Oh, I'm going to compare that to the other one. Yeah, it's a little bit more substantial. So I'm going to put that on the A key here. And hopefully that'll fix it. Well, I put all the screws back in. I'm going for broke here. I'm just going to test it, you know. It helps to have some duct tape on one side and Atari power supply on the other side to lift the keyboard up while you're, to jack the keyboard up while you're putting screws in. It helps a lot, just letting you know. keyboard. Computer on. Okay, the HQ was sticking there a little bit, but I brought it back. What about the A key? Oh yeah, much better, much better. Alright, so let's go over it again. Escape. Yep. Right key. Looking good so far. And space. Okay. Okay, and tab. Return. Yeah. Looks good. So I just need to test the yeah, okay, yeah, it works. What's about the other shift key? Yeah, it works. Control, yeah, that works. Alright, now just need to test. Let's see, is that one? Yeah, right there. Alright, so let's reset, start, select, okay, I think it's start, is that start? Yeah. So the function keys work, all the letter keys, number keys, control, shift, all that works. Yeah, I had a little hiccup with the A key. I cut the heat shrink tubing just a little bit too short, and so it was giving an iffy response. Reset. The HQ was sticking a little bit, but so its heat shrink tubing was cut a little bit too high, but it seems like it's doing okay now. And the A key's perfect, so I would call this a success. Cheap, easy, fairly quick to do. It's completely undoable, and you know, it does not permanently alter the vintage computer. And so there you go, a quick and easy way to fix an Atari 1200 XL keyboard. And there are some TI-99 4A keyboards that are exactly the same design, and you can use the same method to fix those. Okay, if this video helped you, then subscribe, like, ring that bell, and you can become a Patreon. I've got a link somewhere. So thanks a lot for watching.